Hi everyone, this time I'm here with an overview and my 5 favorite panels from the first volume of the Dragon Ball manga, Son Goku to Nakamatachi, Son Goku and Friends. Before we begin, I'd like to give a little bit of history of my involvement with the series. As an elder millennial, I had the opportunity of witnessing the rise of Dragon Ball and Dragon Ball Z in America. I remember when it first started airing on Cartoon Network Toonami in the afternoons, and it was immediately a huge hit with millions of people. Despite the constant reruns, it felt like it took years before we finally got to see Goku go Super Saiyan. Besides Cartoon Network, I would even watch the episodes of Dragon Ball Z in Spanish on either Telemundo or Univision, as it seemed like the episodes were often translated into Spanish faster than English. I had great fun watching it in Spanish, even though I knew next to nothing about the language, but that's how you learn. You could also walk into a video game store such as Software Etc. or Electronic Boutique, or a video store such as Suncoast Video, and there you would have the opportunity to purchase an absurdly priced VHS tape. You may get 5 or 6 episodes for about $35. I also had a great time going to the local Chinatown, where they had figurines, posters, and wall scrolls of all this crazy stuff, such as Super Saiyan 3 transformations and Fusion transformations. Meanwhile, we were still stuck during the Frieza saga in America. It was also a wonderful experience to go on the internet searching for information on the series back in the late 90s and early 2000s. Before YouTube and Wiki, it was very difficult to just pull up any sort of information you had in mind on demand. I would end up on a fan site reading about stuff from the Cell or Majin Buu saga, and there weren't even pictures available of the most pivotal scenes. I just had to read the text and imagine what was going on. And even though I was spoiling myself, I didn't mind, as it seemed like it would take years for all this stuff to be available on television, or at least at a low cost. Over the years, I've watched the animated series of Dragon Ball and Dragon Ball Z about twice over. I was never really interested in GT, and Super initially sounded interesting, but I heard it got to a rocky start, but then got much better later on, and I'll definitely want to check that out sometime. Last year, I was very upset about the passing of Akira Toriyama, and I realized that I never really checked out the manga editions, so the best way to honor him would be to continue to enjoy his work. Alright, so here we go, the first volume of Dragon Ball, Son Goku to Nakamatachi. The inner jacket, we have a note from Akira Toriyama, and he basically explains how Dragon Ball initially starts in a Chinese setting, but then soon changes from there. And he also talks about how much fun that he had creating all the settings and characters. And in here, these are the main cast to appear in this volume of the manga. We have Master Roshi, Bulma, Puar, Goku, Oolong, and Yamcha. It's important to note that Emperor Pilaf, Mai, or Shu do not appear anywhere in here, even though I believe they showed up in the second episode of the television series. And here's the table of contents divided into 11 chapters. First one, Boroma to Son Goku, Bulma and Son Goku. Chapter 2, Tama ga nai, those are not balls. This is about Goku getting acquainted with Bulma over the first night in her capsule house. And Chapter 3, Goku umie hashiru, Goku run to the ocean. This is when Goku discovers Kame and helps bring him back to the ocean. And number 4, Kame Sennin no Kintoon, the flying nimbus cloud of the Turtle Hermit. This is when Roshi gifts Goku with Nimbus upon returning Kame to him. And Chapter 5, Uron Araweru, Oolong appears. Chapter 6, Oolong Taiketsu Son Goku, Oolong's decisive battle with Son Goku. Number 7, Yamcha to Puaru, Yamcha and Puar. Chapter 8, Yamocha Ozoro Beshi, the great Yamcha, or the astonishing Yamcha. Number 9, Dragon Ball Ayoshi, the Dragon Balls are in danger. And number 10, Goto Dai Sakosen, the great plan to steal, referring to the Dragon Balls. And finally, chapter 11, Fraipan Yama no Gyumao, the Ox King, or the evil Ox King of Fried Pan Mountain. And it's also worth noting he's called Ox King in English, but in the Spanish version, he keeps his Japanese name, Gyumao. Alright, and now on to my 5 favorite panels. And as for my 5 favorite panels, one of them is the very first page. This photo is wonderfully detailed, showing Goku going about his life after his grandfather passed away some years before. And on the upper right it says, Mukashi Mukashi no koto, Miyaku kara susin kori mo kanata no aru yamaoku. Long, long ago, thousands of kilometers away from the city, this is deep in the mountains. Kono kiso tengai na monogatari wa toriaizu sono dokoro kara hajimarimasu. This surreal and wonderful tale now begins from here. On page 22, we get our first and excellent look at Shenlong. And right up here it says, Nanatsu no Dragon Ball o atsumete, Jumo no tanairu to sa. If you gather all 7 Dragon Balls and chant the incantation. Shinron sumari ryu no kami-sama ga arawareta, dona nagai demo, hitotsu dake kanaite kureru no yo. And this is Shenlong, the dragon god, appears, and he will grant just one wish that you ask of him. Here we have Oolong transforming into a bull on page 90, and I really like this picture because it seems like he's just popping out of the page. And there Goku, dressed as a young village girl, says, "Ah, ushi ni nachatta. Ah, you've turned into a bull." And Oolong says, "Oi, ori o okoraseru to mecha mecha koen da zo, suyoin da zo." Hey, if you get me angry, I'm going to get really, really scary and really, really strong. But if you read this or watch the television show, you'll see that Oolong isn't quite as scary as he appears. From page 119, here's a really cool panel of Yamcha and Puar rushing up to Goku and his friends on their bike. And up here it says, Totsujo arawareta, Koya no akuto Yamcha to Puaru, tatakai wa sakerare so ni nai no da. Suddenly, the rascal of the wasteland, Yamcha and Puar, appear. It looks like everybody will have no choice but to fight. And finally, I really like this panel when Goku, Bulma, and Oolong arrive at Fried Pan Mountain. I like the details such as a skeleton wearing a Roman soldier helmet and also a cowboy skeleton. And here Bulma is saying, "Omo, honto ni atsui wa ne." Oh man, it really is hot. And Oolong's trying to warn her. "Aho, dekai koi dazu na yo. Gyumao ni kikarareru janai ka." Hey, you better watch out with your voice being so loud. The Gyumao might hear you, or the Ox King might hear you. And at the very end, we even get some additional artwork. I believe these were covers that were used in different places where the Dragon Ball manga appeared before it was all compiled into this one volume. Alright, I hope you enjoyed my look at the first volume of the Dragon Ball manga. Please let me know what you think, and if you all enjoyed this, I might be back again with the second edition quite soon. Alright, see you later. Bye.